What up guys, Gozen here for AnimeUproar, and today we are going to discuss the power levels or combat classes of all 7 deadly sins. We're going to go over all of the power levels that we got, and for fun try to figure out how strong each sin is now, right up to the most current events in the manga. Make sure to like and subscribe for more 7 Deadly Sins content. If that ain't enough 7 Deadly Sins for you, you can also follow our Instagram at AnimeUproar for daily 7 Deadly Sins posts and conversations. Keep in mind, there will be manga spoilers in this video, you've been warned. Just a heads up, if you didn't know, I did a video over 3 months ago about all power levels ever mentioned in the 7 Deadly Sins ranked from weakest to strongest. That was quite a big project because I included every single power level we got. Make sure to check it out if you're curious about that. Here I will take a closer look at the sins specifically and speculate more about their power levels even when we don't have that information. I will, however, make sure to let you guys know when the power level is official and when I'm speculating based on the evidence. I will also incorporate some of your feedback from the previous video where some of you suggested putting the actual power level on screen rather than just saying it. So thank you for the suggestion. And now let's jump into some power levels. Gowther's first recorded power level is 3100. However, once he regains his memories, his power level shoots up all the way to 35,400. Power level wise, he is the weakest sin overall, but with abilities like invasion at his disposal, he proves to be indispensable to the team. Without his invasion ability, Meliodas might have given into despair and been defeated by his father, the Demon King. So Gowther's character does a good job of illustrating that it's definitely not all about power levels. Deanne's first recorded power level is 3250. After she undergoes Droll and Gloxinia's special training, her resting power level rises to 8000. Furthermore, she can increase her power dramatically by using Droll's dance. In her weaker human-sized form, she is able to use the dance to reach a power level of 15,100, and she lets Gowther know that she can increase it even more. According to the character guidebook, in her giant form, she can use Droll's dance to increase her power level to 50,000. Thus, she has yet to pass Droll, who has a power level of 54,000, and become the strongest giant in history, but nevertheless, she has definitely come a long way since the beginning of the series. Merlin's first and only recorded power level is 4710, but this doesn't do her justice at all. Even at the beginning, she had the highest power level of the sins, not counting her worshipper, Escanor, who was introduced later on in the series. Since then, she's proven that she can handle much stronger opponents, like Grey Road, who had a combat class of 39,000 and a tricky commandment too. Her most impressive performance came against Chandler and Cusack, two of the strongest demons in history and the teachers of Meliodas and Zeldris. Cusack had a power level of 168,000 and Chandler had a power level of 173,000, and yet Merlin was able to overpower both of them until the memories of Mael, being Esterosa, returned and distracted her. Considering this, Merlin should be considered to have a power level of at least 200,000 plus. However, then the original demon comes along, who, if he has the combined power level of Cusack and Chandler, would have a power level of 341,000. Against him, Merlin admits that she has no chance of winning, so for that reason, it is likely that her power level does not enter the 300,000s. Escanor's power level is the weakest of all the 7 deadly sins during Midnight, when he only has a power level of 15, half the power level of Hawk. During the Great Fight Festival, Gowther makes Escanor think of Merlin during the nighttime and he transforms, saying that Merlin is the very sun itself. His power rises to 28,800 with no sun, and he didn't even need his divine axe to transform. A very interesting moment indeed, because it proves that sun power isn't absolutely necessary for a transformation. During his introductory fight against Galand, Merlin measures Escanor's power level to be around 50,000, but she mentions that it keeps increasing with every passing moment. Then there's the epic fight between Meliodas and Escanor. During this fight, Escanor is measured at a power level of 114,000 while noon is approaching. Despite the high power level, Meliodas in Assault mode continues to easily overpower him until High Noon. However, during High Noon, for 1 minute, Escanor enters the 1 mode and beats Meliodas, who at this point has a power level of 142,000. He doesn't just beat him though, he crushes him. Meliodas gives him 1000 divine slashes, and Escanor brushes them off, saying all 1000 slashes are but an itch. Then he beats Meliodas with one swipe of his hand. We are not given a power level for Escanor in the 1 mode, but I'd speculate that it's 300,000 plus. It's clear that it's way above Assault mode Meliodas. Plus, he is able to stop Zeldris' move Ominous Nebula, a move that Ludoshell, who had a power level of 201,000, was completely powerless against. Yet, he doesn't seem to be as strong as Mael with Sunshine, whose proximity alone is able to melt Zeldris' sword, the same sword that blocked the one's karate chop. I'd speculate that Mael has a 400,000 plus power level because of how easily he beat the original demon, who, if we simply add the power levels of Cusack and Chandler as mentioned, would have a power level of 341,000. So in my view, Escanor ranges all the way from a power level of 15 during midnight to a power level of over 300,000 during High Noon. King's first recorded power level is 4,190. He starts out ahead of Meliodas, Bon, Gother, and Diane when he has to fight the Albion, who all have a combat class of 5,500. King manages to defeat him. As Gloxinia points out, King's power level temporarily almost doubled that of the Albion, meaning that King reached a combat class of around 11,000 during the fight. After he undergoes Gloxinia and Droll's training, his power level shoots up to 41,600. However, his most impressive transformation comes later, when his full-grown wings come in. King, Diane, and Gother were taking on Mael, who had absorbed 4 commandments and whose power level was over 200,000 at the time. They were no match for him. Even a triple combo move was easily stopped by him. However, after the Fairy King transforms into the King of Rock mode, he takes out Mael effortlessly, without breaking a sweat. He's able to fight the original demon with his at least 341,000 combat class from an extremely long distance. King is not even close to full power, because he never fought from a distance before, he can only use one sacred treasure at a time from a distance, and fighting from a distance uses up a lot of magic rapidly. Nevertheless, he is not only able to keep up with the original demon, he is able to do so well that Zeldris feels the need to step in, suggesting that King's move Sunflower could have done serious, even deadly damage to the original demon. Considering all of these factors, like that King was able to do so well against the original demon with only a portion of his power, I'd speculate that King is currently at a power level over 400,000. Bon's first recorded power level is 3,220. He starts with one of the lowest power levels, but ends up becoming one of the strongest sins. When he fought Meliodas to bring Elaine back, Gother said love caused Bon's power level to grow by 650, placing him at 3,870 during this battle. During the fight against Galand, Bon uses Hunterfest to seemingly absorb more than half of Galand's power, and some power from the surrounding area as well. Added to his own, he should have an overall power level over 15,000 at this point. However, that appears to be his limit, since he can only maintain that power level for a while before his body has to deal with the consequences of absorbing so much power. Absorbing this kind of power leaves him unable to move for an extended period of time. After he comes back from Purgatory though, he gets a huge power boost. Albeit, they weren't at full strength, but Mael and King could do nothing to the Demon King after he took over Meliodas' body. However, Bon, as the characters noticed, was able to go blow for blow with him. He did have Meliodas helping him from the inside, which means the Demon King could not have fought Bon at full strength, but Bon still did surprisingly well in a fight against a demon god. For this reason, I'd put Bon after Purgatory at least a power level over 500,000. Meliodas' first recorded power level is 3,370. When he's fighting against Bon, Gother says that love causes his power level to rise by 430, which would place him at 3,800 at that point. With his demon mark showing, his power level jumps up to 4,400 during his fight against Galand. Then he enters Berserk mode, which raises his power level to 10,300. Later, we figure out that the majority of Meliodas' power was sealed away, and when he gets reunited with that power, his base power level shoots up to 32,500. when he comes back to life after Estarossa temporarily kills him, Meliodas has a base power level of 60,000, which becomes even greater in his demon form. He is able to effortlessly defeat Fraudrin at this point, who has a power level of 31,000. During his epic battle against Escanor, Meliodas is in assault mode and his power level is 142,000. Melascula suggests that this is how strong Meliodas was when he was the commander of the 10 Commandments. So from here on out, he becomes even stronger than he was 3,000 years ago. But the question is, how much stronger does he become? Seemingly, no one else could overpower the Demon King. Bon could hold his own, but he couldn't really overpower him until Meliodas beat him on the inside. Meliodas, though, took off the Demon King's arm in Purgatory like it was nothing, and then clearly overpowered him inside his own body. His power made the Demon King look helpless. He then goes on to break the curse that was placed on him and Elizabeth, which one could only do if he had power equal or greater than the Demon King and Supreme Deity. So it definitely looks like Meliodas has surpassed his father in power. For these reasons, Meliodas has to be placed above Bon in terms of strength. So if Bon is 500,000 plus, Meliodas should at least be placed at 600,000 plus. Now keep in mind, I'm speculating about power levels because I know a lot of you enjoy that. However, without Nakaba giving us official power levels, we cannot know for sure. The highest specific power level we got was Ludoshells, who had a power level of 201,000 at the time, and that was a while ago. So we could potentially even be in the millions by now. However, whatever his power level is, we can all agree on the fact that Meliodas is ridiculously OP at this point. And that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button to let me know. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you know the second a new 7 Deadly Sins video is out. For daily 7 Deadly Sins content and conversations, make sure to follow us on Instagram at AnimeUproar. Shout out to our patrons, especially to our pro tier patrons, Keelan and the one and only Gilgamesh, and our the 1 tier patrons, the ones who stand atop all clans, Mayan Gobin, Maddie Mac 239, and A17 FFDP. Thanks so much for your ongoing support. If you get value from the stuff we do, consider supporting us for as little as $1 a month over on our Patreon. If you become a patron, your name will appear in future videos along with these amazing people right here, and you'll get access to our patron-only Discord. And if you're interested in rocking 7 Deadly Sins inspired merch, you won't find anything better than AnimeUproar.com. We are selling original and epic shirts like Escanor Praise the Sun, Meliodas Feel the Wrath, Demon King All Hail the King, and of course, Son of Wrath, our newest edition. So be sure to check them out at AnimeUproar.com. There's more to come, including a Bond shirt, so look forward to that. Thanks again, and until next time, see you, Space Cowboys.